Hello, boys and girls. We're going to start our second part of our knights fighting Actually, now we're going to start coding. So we have our two knights here. We've already changed their costumes. So now we are ready to start coding them. So go ahead and just pick one of the knights and go ahead and you're going to grab a flag. So on your flag, so that's always our event, our starting point. And now you're going to give it its starting position because you're going to want it to start here. So I'm going to say my XY position. So I'm going to say go to that X and that Y. I also want it to start on a different position. So a different costume. So I'm going to come over here and make sure we always start on the costume that I want. So in this one, I'm going to start on costume Knight 1. And now that I've kind of done my little bit of setup, now I want them to kind of go forward. So you kind of have to play a little bit with how much you want them to go. So I'm going to say 1. Oh, so remember, if you are going left, it has to be a negative number. So that was a good little debugging thing. So I'm going to say go 1, 2, 3. So I'm just going to say move a negative 30 steps. So actually before, I want it to wait just a second before he moves there so you can see that they're actually going to move. So I'm going to add that little wait there. So now he's going to move a negative 30 seconds. And so now when I hit the flag, he goes back to that position and he's going to go move 30 steps. And I'm going to have this one do the same code, but we're going to finish this code first. So now the rest of the code on this one, I'm just going to forever have him changing costumes. So that way it looks like he's fighting. So I'm going to say over here, next costume. So if I click the flag, okay, he's going really, really fast there. So I want to slow that down. So once again, to slow it down, I'm going to come back over to my controls. I don't know if I need to wait a whole second. That looks a little too slow. So maybe I'm going to do a half of a second or a third of a second. So here you're using decimals, 0.5, 0.3. Yeah, that looks a little bit more natural. And right now, that's pretty much the code for him. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change it just a little bit. I've already written this code. So now I can just take it, drag it over to the second knight, and it has the same code. But you're going to see there's a problem here, so watch. Now they're right on top of each other. Well, why do we think they're right on top of each other? Well, the problem is that they have the same XY position. So I'm going to stop it, and I'm going to drag this one back over here. And I'm going to give it its own XY position. So if you look over here, it tells you the XY position. So you can just come over here and type it, -1, 10, -95. Okay, so now let's see how that looks. So now I'm going to hit, except now I don't want him to move a -30 because he's going to be moving right, so that's a positive. So that's just another little small change you need to make. So now they kind of went together and now they're kind of fighting. And if you wanted to be a little closer, maybe you could say move 40 steps or move 50 steps. But now you see they're kind of both in sync. So I think I want to have them be a little bit off. So instead of starting on Knight 1, I'm going to tell it to start on like Knight 2. So now, so hit stop. Let's check it out. Maybe let's go down and move it up to like Knight 3 or something. So then they're not quite starting in the same position. There we go. So now it looks like they're going back and forth. So this is a simple continuous motion. You could add people cheering in the background, or what else could you add to this move? Maybe you want a bird flying in the background, but you could add more stuff, or you could leave it just like this. I hope you have fun making this continuous medieval project.